Welcome back to Pop Goes the Kernel, where we dive into today's latest pop culture, music, television, movies, and more.
I'm Libby Heckert.
I'm Marissa Armstrong.
I'm Gabriella Mercedes.
And I'm Lauren Smiley.
So today's episode will include new in TV and music, SNL, and a lot more.
Let's get popping.
The opinions expressed on this podcast are the speaker's own and don't uphold the opinions expressed by the Kentucky Kernel.
Before we jump into all things pop culture, let's take a quick break for a message from our sponsor. Then it's time to get poppin'.
It sounds like the Kentuckian Yearbook is making a comeback for the 2024-25 school year. With 300 pages in full color, it's a great way for students at the University of Kentucky to document their year. Plus, it's put together by your Kentucky Kernel Press, which helps support their work. Seniors and graduates, make sure you get your portraits taken between February 17th through the 21st and March 31st through April 11th. The photo sessions will be held from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at 12A Blazer Dining, lower level. For more information or to get your yearbook ordered, check out their website at kernelyearbook.com. R.I.P. the Duolingo owl. The mascot of the popular app Duolingo has died. Duolingo is an app where people can learn new languages and kind of test their skills, and the mascot Duo passed away due to a Cybertruck accident. This is a marketing campaign, from what I can tell, from the app, and Duo rose to fame and first became a meme in 2019 and then became a whole TikTok thing. People would call the mascot evil because Duolingo has a thing where they tend to send out notifications being like, make sure you don't lose your streak, practice the language, and people thought the owl was essentially going to kill them if they don't practice Spanish.
They
or
felt
something
very
like that.
threatened by it. As a former Duolingo user who is proudly still here, I'm definitely behind the people who say that it was threatening.
Yes.
So do we get a new mascot?
Well, so the brand recently wrote on social media, "It is with heavy hearts that we inform you that Duo, formerly known as the Duolingo Owl, is dead. Authorities are currently investigating the cause of death, and we are cooperating fully. TBH, he probably died waiting for you to do your lesson, but what do we know?" So I think it's threatening its customers yet again. But the brand continued to post videos kind of building up this whole marketing campaign involving the other mascots carrying Duo to a casket, and then Duo getting hit by the Cybertruck and dying, which is crazy.
This is a lot for a marketing
Duolingo
stunt.
reminds me of middle school when we had iPads in school and we weren't allowed to play games. So all of us just did Duolingo on our iPads for fun. And like, I haven't thought about Duolingo since, but like that's so sad. The poor little owl, like he didn't do anything.
He's gone.
Like,
so
he's
get
gone.
on Duolingo. You're the reason he's gone.
I guess so.
I think it's also really good for like partnership with other brands, because like other brands are like, oh, we are responsible for it. We did that. And I think it's like the funniest thing seeing all these brands that are kind of chiming in with it.
So many other companies have started to chime in and to kind of take the marketing scheme for their own. My favorite is the World Health Organization.
That is my favorite one by far.
Tweeted out or shared on X. #RipDuo, may your cause of death be identified ASAP. One thing we know for sure, it's not smallpox because the disease has been eradicated since the 1980s. Which, like, use it for your own. I mean, other brands like Netflix, Chipotle, and the European Space Agency have also commented on Duolingo's
Very famous
death.
owl.
Right. And my favorite also, celebrities that have tuned in, Dua Lipa made a post saying, "Till death Duo part." With a broken
my
heart
gosh.
emoji. Because a lot of people would kind of call Dua Lipa Duolingo and vice versa. So.
Honestly, to each their own. You do what you gotta do, and RIP the Duolingo owl.
We'll see what happens now. Are we going to get a new mascot, new campaign? What's the future for Duolingo? I don't know.
Maybe he faked his death.
That would be crazy.
That just popped in my head.
No, leave
Guys,
it.
I think I'm onto something.
You might be onto something. Leave it to Duolingo to do something like that.
real talk, Euphoria is finally back. The fate of Euphoria season 3 has been up in the air for what it seems like an eternity. The show was technically renewed for a 3rd season in February 2022, but there's been a lot of different factors forcing production to pause. So a big thing has been Angus Cloud. He passed away in 2023, so that caused a lot of controversy within the production crew of who was going to come back, and it's just been a big thing because he was such a big character within the story. So if you don't know, Euphoria is a huge show on HBO, kind of surrounding a group of high schoolers and all the problems within it. It has Zendaya in it, Jacob Elordi, Sydney Sweeney, all those big names, and that's kind of how they started. So the new season of the show has finally started in February 2025, finally, and it's set to come out again in 2026. So that's kind of a big jump from 2022 to 2025. So it's been up in the air for a while. A lot of cast members have been asked about it and really have said nothing. So for me as a Euphoria fan, it's been a big, I'm so excited to finally hear that it's coming back, but there's a lot of cast members that aren't coming back. So some of the cast members that aren't coming back are, I believe, Chloe Cherry will be returning, but Barbie Fiera will not be. Storm Ree and Austin Abrams will not be returning. So a lot of Rue, who is Zendaya in the film, basically most of her whole family from the film is not returning, and they are a big part of the film. And I know the new season is going to be more of a present day version with all the actors a little bit older to kind of, I guess, blind that a lot of people aren't going to be back in it. So what do we think about all these characters not coming back?
I think it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of revamp the show from a production standpoint. I think about it, if someone were to do a show on my life, my family would have to be a part of it. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see how they either cut off these characters or replace them and what they do to kind of keep the show and the storyline steady.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of different TV shows and sequels of movies have done the thing where they replace the characters that aren't coming back, and I just don't think that would, I don't know, I feel like it takes away from the actual message of the story and just the TV show in general, and I hope they don't do that because the TV show is just so iconic to begin with.
They're also pretty big names, so I feel like if you're going to take them out and replace them, like, people are going to notice. People are not a stranger to Euphoria. I personally have not, indulged in it, but I know what it is. I know the characters. I kind of know the storyline, and plus Rue's story is a huge part of it. It is almost, I'd say, a main part of it because she is, the main character. So I don't really think they could go about replacing. So kind of like what you said, Libby, I'm very interested to see how they go about it because, you don't have your family and the storyline is about you and your life. And
Exactly. And the storyline kind of really starts because of the way Rue reacts after her dad dies. So it's centered around her family, but there's all these side stories going on with all the other huge actors that we know, like Sydney Sweeney and Jacob Elordi, that kind of started their career. But it makes me sad that they're not coming back, but I'm sure they'll definitely find a way to, pick up from that big part that they just left off of.
This past weekend, February 16th, Saturday Night Live celebrated 50 years with a primetime special. For starters, nearly 15 million people watched the anniversary special, making it NBC's most watched primetime entertainment telecast in the last 5 years. I think that in itself deserves a round of applause, guys, if you ask me. The night opened with musicians Paul Simon and a fan favorite here on the podcast, Sabrina Carpenter. Shout out Marissa.
You know it.
They definitely set the tone for the night and performed Simon and Garfunkel's Homeward Bound. That performance was great, but they weren't the only ones to perform. We had people like Paul McCartney, Brittany Howard, Lil Wayne with The Roots, and Miley Cyrus. There were multiple cameos that included stars like Meryl Streep, who I love from The Devil Wears Prada.
Yep.
Fan favorite movie for me for sure. And Jack Nicholson. Paul McCartney also closed out the night with a number and an iconic SNL stage brimming with the stars as the show ended on Sunday night. Overall, I think they did a phenomenal job celebrating 50 years. Do you guys have anything that stood out to you specifically?
Yes. Oh my gosh. We are fans here. I know we all are, of Domingo. He has been trending just about everywhere on the internet, but of course they brought him back. And I'm kind of speculating that this could be the end of the trilogy for those.
I think it's the finale of the Domingo storyline.
That is what I'm thinking. So for those of you who do not know, Domingo showed up as kind of Kelsey's lover on the side. Kelsey and Matt were getting married, showed up at the wedding and was like, Kelsey, I'm here. Because they had a little fling when they went on their bachelorette party. And then it was the skit about the baby shower. And she was pregnant with both Matt and Domingo's baby. We've talked about both of them before. And now it's their vow renewal. And of course we had Sabrina Carpenter, who showed up as Kelsey's friends this time around. And of course it also showcased kind of Matt's side, where it was Domingo comes out, he's like, I'm here. Kelsey's deciding she's gonna just pursue Matt only. And then all of a sudden Domingo's brothers come out, played by Pedro Pascal and Bad Bunny, which had me going through the roof. I was so excited when I saw them come out. And it was so good. They all had their own song. Bad Bunny was like the fling going on with the parents. Oh my gosh. So Marissa, I know you definitely watched that.
Oh, it was awesome. I loved seeing this story again. Love to see it. And also with the whole special, I loved seeing all the past members of SNL come back and kind of relive their previous casting on SNL. It was awesome to see just the old faces back on the screen.
I know my favorite part, aside from that, was seeing all the celebrities coming back that were such icons on SNL. Like, my girl Kim Kardashian came back. I loved her SNL skits that she did back whenever she did. She was back. Loved to see her there. My other favorite thing from the night was seeing Lady Gaga performing a good Christmas song. If you guys know SNL, you know the song. But that was also so much fun. And there were just so many celebrities, and it was just a great night all around. I feel like it was just full of laughter and just making fun of each other. And that's just so much fun to see, especially celebrities being real people. And I think it was really cool how they did it.
Nobody seems to be enjoying Grant Ellis's season of The Bachelor. We're on week 4, and it's not looking good for Grant.
No, because nobody can be as good as Joey was. I'm sorry, but I had my boyfriend interested. I know my dad was interested. I know all the guys love Joey, so it's just not reining them in. You know
even
what I mean?
the girls on Joey's season, like the cast, they killed it that time
so
around.
With Maria, all the drama.
They're all
Daisy,
so relevant.
All the heartthrobs, guys.
I barely even know the girls that are on it now because
Same.
none of them are sticking out to me. It's just not good. We're on week 4. No progress has been made. I wasn't really excited to see him as the Bachelor in the first place.
Me either.
He didn't stick out to me on Jen's season. I wasn't super excited. And now that we're moving through the weeks, we're down to the final 7 women already, which
is crazy. It
That
flew
is
by.
moving
This
fast.
season so fast.
So when we get to the final 4, those four contestants will be headed to hometowns where Grant will get to meet their families and kind of see the girls' hometown environments. And then the final 3 will head to fantasy suites where they'll get a one night where they're not on camera. They can do whatever they want, you know. And so kind of this season's just been moving by so quickly, and I don't really know what to think about it.
It's just boring. I'm sorry. It just is. The group dates are weird. They're not like, you know, we always have the group date of like, you know, doing the sport they always liked, or like, I don't know. They're just like so. Ugh. I don't
Personally,
know.
I was in it for Marissa. My roommates were, shout out Hannah and Izzy. They were really into it. But she's from Birmingham, Michigan, which is about 30-40 minutes from me. So that like localized and connected me to the show. She got sent home last night. I will not be tuning in anymore.
I haven't liked her from the beginning. Her little presentation she gave, I thought it was dumb. I don't know. I don't like her. Guys, I'm a big Bachelor person, I guess. Like, I've been watching it forever, and I'm very critical. Like, sorry, but I am. And She didn't stick out to me. I mean, but none of these girls
None of them
are.
do.
I'm sorry.
No.
Grant doesn't even stick out to me. Like,
I feel like I don't know anything about him, and I feel like The Bachelor has started to kind of lose a budget. Like, why is the first one-on-one date at your local mall?
I saw that. That was
I
really
know.
bad. That was really bad.
Normally-
What happened to the helicopters and
The
like
helicopters were like oh my gosh, like let me go on The Bachelor. You know what I mean?
I don't like normally when we get like a mall date, they get a whole shopping spree and they're trying on gowns. She's riding around the pony at the mall. It
So
was
weird.
so
And I feel like they travel more and go on more of these.
It's not the same.
It's not doing it. Like, when is Bachelor in Paradise coming back?
Bottom
Because that's my stuff.
line, guys, Bachelor needs to pick it up.
Yeah, agreed. I agree.
With so many new music releases, let's talk about it.
First off, Sabrina Carpenter released her deluxe album, Short and Sweet Deluxe,
Your
where
girl.
my girl. I love Sabrina. She released 5 new tracks, well, 4 tracks, and then Please, Please, Please featuring Dolly Parton.
The queen herself.
I want to brush on really quick. I didn't like it, and
It's
I
so
think the iconicness of this collab was it's so it's Dolly freaking Parton, and it just kind of fell flat for me.
You know what? This is terrible, but I compare it to Dolly Parton and Pitbull, and that's iconic. Not Sabrina Carpenter, and you know what I mean?
It sounds like Dolly Parton is like behind me, and I'm like trying to get. I'm like, what is like? She just sounds like she's behind me. I'm like, get out.
She
like,
doesn't like
get out of my
have her
head.
own moment. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And in Powerful Women, everybody give it a listen with Pitbull and Dolly Parton. She like takes a turn on that song. To your point, she's like echoing, like she's always there.
Yeah, I think she would have made more sense sound-wise on Slim Pickens, which is on the regular album, because it's more of a country vibe that fits her style. But I understand why she's not, just because it's kind of the themes of that song. It's not really Dolly's style. But overall, of Short and Sweet Deluxe, my favorite, they all really stood out to me in different ways. I think I've been listening to bad reviews the most on the tracks, but 15 Minutes and Busy Woman are also so good.
Busy Woman is my favorite one because we all are busy women. So like, it's
Relatable.
so good. I heard it on TikTok first.
Mhm.
and
I did
I
too.
love it. Yeah.
That's probably my favorite from the deluxe so far, just because, you know, she's relatable, okay? Sabrina does not miss.
Yes, and couldn't make it any harder. Sounds a lot like Hopelessly Devoted to You, a lot of people have been saying, which she did as a surprise song on her tour, so many people were thinking that was kind of hinting towards her new tracks. But love Short and Sweet Deluxe. Moving on, Role Model also released his deluxe album called Kansas Anymore, The Longest Goodbye. He released 4 new tracks, one of which went viral on TikTok, called Sally When the Wine Runs Out. It's the her from the grapevine, she might be a diva.
I'm shouting out my roommates again, but they're addicted to this song. They were like, oh my gosh, it's dropping tonight. And then they were like, Izzy, it dropped. Like, it's a really big deal. And I personally had never heard of Role Model before this. So this was like a really eye-opening thing to kind of listen and see his style.
I really love his music. Honestly, as much as that's like the TikTok viral song, I don't think it's I think it's a very strong song, but of the 4 tracks, it's not my favorite because he has so many good other ones. Some Proctor was my favorite. I think it really stood out to me. And The Longest Goodbye tells a really good story with the album. It finishes the album really strong. It's kind of a country. He described it as Toy Story vibes, if you guys kind of get it.
Okay.
I really like it.
I think my see, I didn't know who this was. I saw on TikTok whatever, but I literally thought Role Model was a deluxe version of Brent Faiyaz's song Role Model, if any of you guys know that song.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, wait, he came out with like a new song? Like, what?
I was
like,
confused,
but
too.
then Lauren played it for me. I love it. I think the vibes are very good, like spring into summer vibes.
Absolutely.
And I'm here for it. It's
Perfect
giving me-
timing.
Exactly. It's giving me the warm weather feeling.
His name is Tucker Pillsbury. He dated Emma Chamberlain, and many people think this album is about Emma Chamberlain.
Now I know
So-
who he is.
Yeah,
Now I know.
So that's kind of why a lot of people know him, but I know him as Role Model, my king. Like, I love him. Anyways, moving on, Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco released a song and are soon to release an entire 14-track album coming out on March 21st called I Said I Love You First. But this single is called Scared of Loving You. And many people are talking about this because Selena and Benny are engaged. And they're writing a whole album together. He's a producer more on it, and she's more of a singer, but they're working together.
Crazy crossover.
It's been forever since I've even heard like a Benny Blanco song.
Even Selena Gomez.
Even Selena Gomez. It's crazy to me that they're even engaged, because for me that kind of came out of nowhere. I was not expecting it.
I feel like that ages us.
No, that ages us.
Like, I feel old.
Like, I remember Benny Blanco's Roses song from 2019, 2020, because that was the TikTok song. That was him.
Yeah.
So.
I really like the song. I thought it was really pretty and like lyrical kind of ballad vibes. So I'm excited to see what the whole album is going to look like. Some people are saying Gracie Abrams might be featuring on it. They've done some little teasers, so we'll see what actually comes out, because they haven't released the track list or anything else yet. Finally, we have Drake and Party Next Door's album. How do you feel about it?
Go for it.
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys my favorite songs. Deeper, great song. It brings the Party Next Door / Drake vibes. They complement each other very well. I just think it's great. But my favorite song is Give Me a Hug. Like,
now that's
give me
a
a
song
hug.
title.
Like, I like it. It's just like classic good old Drake, you know, that you just need every once in a while. And then my other one is Something About You. It has like the building intro. It's just same with Give Me a Hug. Sorry guys. I'm that song, it just makes me laugh. I just like saying the name.
The titles on the album are something else, but I really just can't get past the whole like Kendrick Lamar's thing was such a big Super Bowl halftime show, and all the defamation and maybe he's dissing him, maybe he's not. Like, if I'm Drake, I'm going to let that sit for a second before I put out a new album.
I would let that simmer down a little bit. So for him to just go ahead and spit out an album,
This is his
little soon.
first musical release since the whole Kendrick Lamar situation, after he won 5 Grammys on a diss track, but potentially about Drake, and the whole Super Bowl halftime performance. So it's interesting that he's coming out. I'm not really a rap girl myself. I've talked about this before, so not really the album for me. I listened. I gave it a listen. Probably won't be going back, but I can appreciate it.
Yeah, I think the album for girls like you, I feel like it's kind of getting into the more R&B era ish, but you know, he still has his classic songs. But I feel like Drake is trying to like cover up everything that happened with Kendrick and all that, and he's just trying to be like, okay, here's an album, forget all about that.
He's trying to kind of like push it under the rug. Now, me personally, I'm very much like a 2018 rap kind of girl, so like Drake in 2018, I mean, come on guys.
I mean, we saw my Spotify rap.
We did One Dance.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that. That was in my heart as a 6th and 7th grader. So, but kind of seeing him still releasing this stuff, it's kind of nostalgic, some of his songs, because they're very much, he hasn't really changed as much with it, but he is definitely trying to sweep it under the rug, and that's going to be very interesting to see if it works for him in the next upcoming months. So the BAFTA Awards just took place, 78th British Academy Film Awards, for those of you who do not know. Of course, we had a red carpet to go with the award ceremony. We had Hannah Dodd, who plays Francesca in Bridgerton, which is a huge hit on Netflix, coming out in this gorgeous gown, very, very much matching her skin tone. There's been a lot of kind of controversy with her dressing online, just because you could have so many bright colors, and so kind of seeing her back in her same, comfortable colors. Selena Gomez was also there, along with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. And both Ariana and Cynthia were in custom Louis Vuitton. Ariana's was looking very much black top, pink bottom, and Cynthia's, of course, her normal darker colors. Both looked great, both very much like Wicked-esque, I would say, considering, Glinda and the pink for Ariana. The big shock of the red carpet is Mark Hamill's pants. His pants, he was mid presenting, and his pants fell down, shocked the crowd. I don't really know how I'd feel about that.
Like, guys, to think about that for a second. You're up there presenting an award and your pants fall down. These people have all kinds of money. Get a freaking stylist that figures out where your waist side is.
Get suspenders. Like, I don't know how you managed to have your pants fall down.
It reminds me.
There are so many
It
solutions to
reminds
this
me
problem.
of SpongeBob ripped his guys, that's a nightmare. Like when you have dreams of going somewhere without clothes on or something.
I can't say I've had one of those.
You
But
never I had a dream.
When
I've
you
gone
have
to
those
school.
dreams, you get it. Like
come
he
on.
lived
That's
one of my
terrible.
I
nightmares.
just
It's
don't think
awful.
you recover from that.
No.
So many fashion fails recently. I mean, we talked about Bianca Sensori's whole dress
Oh,
debacle
no.
last week.
That was a choice. I
A
don't think this
choice.
guy got up there and chose for his pants to fall down.
Well, on the topic of fashion fails, Vera Wang made an appearance at the BAFTAs. She was there in her she was kind of debuting a bob cut for her hair and what people have described as the tiniest bra.
Interesting, because normally I'm a Vera Wang girl. Like when it comes to the Met Gala, Vera Wang's usually my girl. I know she's got the good look, so
It was
interesting.
very much like it was very not much being covered. Very much for her being 75, I was a little shocked. Figured maybe we would dial it
It's
back a
giving
little
Dolly
bit.
Parton dressing up as Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. Like not to hate on that, that was an iconic power move, but that's kind of
That
what
is
it's
kind of
about.
the vibe it's giving. So there's been a lot of kind of lash with that. And of course, Anna Kendrick was also there on the topic of fashion fails. Maybe in my opinion, she wore a black, very emo grunge kind of Y2K look is what I'm thinking.
I feel like that's her vibe.
maybe
though.
she's going back to her Pitch Perfect era.
It
That's what I was
definitely
gonna say.
looks like it. It's very
Come
much
on, guys, Pitch Perfect 4, please, please.
It is very much like it looks like it suits her, but it's just not the Anna Kendrick I remember, the one that's singing the Cup song. That not for me.
Trolls, anyone?
For Trolls, I'm a big Trolls fan, so seeing her not in bright colors is a little sad.
Fun fact time. Raise your hand if you have a tattoo.
Me.
50% isn't bad for the pod.
There you
Not
go.
bad.
That is.
Well, the tattoo man himself, Pete Davidson, the former SNL regular, has been working on removing his tattoos since 2020 and has previously revealed that he has spent close to $200,000 on the procedures in a January interview. Apparently, he just woke up one day and wanted them gone, and it's been a long process.
That's crazy. $200,000 on tattoo removal.
I think he looks great, though. I've always loved Pete Davidson, thought he was a little cutie. But I think he looks so much happier and healthier as a person. And I love to see the growth from him. And I think this is a really good step that he's making.
Yeah,
This is very much a game changer for his looks if we're going to be so for real on this.
Yeah, he said tattoo removal is pretty terrible. So if anybody out there is watching and thinking about getting a tattoo, make sure you really want to get it. My humble opinion is that after dating Kim Kardashian, he wanted to get rid of them. But that's just me. But I don't know. I think he's mid. Sorry. I don't know.
Me too. I wasn't going to agree
I
with
think
you
it's
on
the humor that's got something going on for him. And I don't know. I just think he's a little cutie. He's funny. Yeah.
He is hilarious, and I think that's my favorite part about him. It's going to be so odd not seeing him getting his bus milk from John Mulaney with all his tattoos, so.
For all of you longtime Kentucky basketball fans, you know that back in the day, Kentucky and Indiana basketball was a huge, huge rivalry. The name Bobby Knight will always be a popular one and should ring a bell. And if it doesn't, this will be a good little education session for those of you who are out of touch. He was a legendary coach and held the record for being the all-time winningest coach in the Big Ten until this past weekend, when Tom Izzo, the head coach of the Michigan State men's basketball team, surpassed him with 354 wins. Guys, this is a big deal because Indiana and Kentucky, it was like Duke and Kentucky. You know how they say, you can't spell Duke without
Duke without UK.
Kind of that type of rivalry. And so we should be celebrating. Give him a round of applause. You know what I mean? Give Tom
Snaps.
Izzo his credit, whether or not you're a Michigan State fan.
That's a lot of wins. That's crazy.
I know. And he did it in a shorter amount of time than Bobby Knight did.
That's crazy. I don't know. I mean, UK, anybody that's a rival of UK, you automatically don't like them. So do I celebrate or do I just be all right. You know what I mean?
I know you being from Michigan, Lauren, this is probably like it's a catch-22 for you.
I'm more of a Michigan fan, but my sister is a huge, huge Michigan State fan, and she's walking around our house this weekend like, look at that. That's great. Like, that's great. I'm just like, Allison, like, come on. Quick little update to make sure everyone is staying in the loop. Yes, the Gulf of Mexico is now known as the Gulf of America in the United States. If you Google it on a map, you'll see Gulf of America, okay? Everyone following?
Yep.
Okay, the president of Mexico has now come out and said she's going to sue Google if they continue to label the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America across the entire body of water. Her argument is that Donald Trump's order to rename the body of water should only be limited to the part that the U.S. has control of. What do we think?
I'm honestly in agreement with that because, granted, it is the Gulf of America, which, you know, North and South America kind of share it, but at the same time, all parties kind of need to be involved with that. So I feel like she has a point, like, you know?
I think if President Trump went about it a different way other than, like, United States America, the Gulf of, the United States, America, like North America, yeah. If he included the other Americas in it, I feel like it wouldn't have been such a big deal. I don't know. I just think it's funny all around. Sorry.
It's a joke.
Like, it's just so random. I don't know. Like I said in last episode, it's just, what?
It's been so funny seeing the trends about it too, because, a lot of people, they don't accept it as the Gulf of America, and it's like, someone the other day said the Gulf of Kentucky. It's just about anything you could think of. So honestly, nobody's really taking it seriously. I don't blame the president of Mexico for this one. For this week's Hot Takes, we're doing a little one-on-one Bachelor style shopping spree here. These are our shopping hot takes. For me, I think Bath & Body Works and the Victoria's Secret semi-annual sales, I think they're too much. They happen way too often to be semi-annual.
If you want to have so many sales, you might as well just become an outlet. That's
exactly. That's a good point.
If you want to have all those sales, just be like a outlet mall or outlet. I don't know. It's like why even have the sales if you're? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Exactly, like an express store. If you guys have ever been one of those.
Yeah.
I think aloe's overpriced. I know I'm wearing it right now, but it is.
Honestly, it's just because like celebrities wear it. Being so for real, they think everybody can wear it. They think everybody can afford it. No, and also the shedding is not it.
It's all over my leggings right now.
Okay, well, trend right now, sequins. I'm not here for it, and I will tell you why. Growing up as a dancer, when you would be put in sequin costumes, you would get rashes all over your arms from rubbing up against them. And I just, I think I have trauma from that. I just, thinking about putting something that has sequins on my body, just rubs me the wrong way.
Look what you did there.
Yeah. See, I'm the opposite. Same experience of the dancer, but that's why I think they're so cute, because I grew up wearing them all the time, and I'm like, I need a little sparkle, a little sequin in my life. I'm here for it. My hot take is that I think backwards hats have got to go.
Bro, no.
I
think if you wear a backwards hat, you go up by 5 on the 10 out of 10 scale.
But a mullet looks better with the hat forward.
No.
Yes, it does.
Oh.
Up top. Yup.
Mullet is a fashion, don't period.
Agreed.
Disagree.
No, I can't get behind that.
I'm not a mullet girl. Every time, it's never good. The backwards hat and the mullet combo. The hat and mullet combo, period. It's got to go.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode.
Be sure to check out our website at kykernel.com.
And follow us on all social media platforms. That's X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify.
Thanks for tuning in to Pop Goes the Kernel. See y'all next time.
Pop Goes the Kernel is produced by Gianna Gallo, featuring Libby Heckert, Marissa Armstrong, Gabriella Mercedes, and Lauren Smiley. Edited by Jackson LaCroix.